Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. You may know me as Nathan, or you may know me as the Whiskey Speaker. Now today I'm actually recording this video from the delights and sights of Scotland, so I'm very privileged to be up here at the moment. Now dry January is way behind us, and that gives us a golden opportunity to start whiskey tasting again, or new make spirits, and everything that is going to be is and will be whiskey. Now, today's distillery that I'd love to talk to you about is the Falkirk Distillery, and it will be a review on the new make spirit, but touching on a little bit of the background story, as I always like to give that as an insight. No subtle hint here as to what I was doing, and as you can see, I already started reviewing before I started rolling the video here, but it's a fantastic whiskey. But let's not jump ahead of ourselves. So, Louise and George Stewart, this is a father and daughter team, and this is a real kind of family connection story in the making here. They have triumphed over an absolute mammoth task of actually bringing the dream together of building a brand new distillery in the Falkirk region close to Polmont, which is literally just down the road from the famous Rosebank distillery. Now this dates all the way back to 2010, when planning permission was initially granted to construct a brand new distillery on a roughly about 12-acre site. And from there they have had to battle getting the planning consent in very close proximity to a Roman wall, which held up planning applications quite a lot. Digging for, I hope I pronounced this right, an artesian well to get a fresh, clean water source. And on top of that, the pandemic that everyone has gone through, and hopefully we're now getting out of the other side of it. But all of these together have not stopped them. It is also a story of where new and old meet or come together to complement each other. If you take the time and trouble to go and see them today, the distillery itself hasn't actually opened, but from the road you can see this absolutely glorious building shining like a beacon within the landscape, and it is definitely, when it becomes up and running, tourists are going to flock to this. It's designed currently, I believe, to have a capacity of around about 80,000 visitors. And a license to actually distill was granted back in 2021. But where old and new meet is, for those of you who are whiskey aficionados or whiskey geeks a little bit like myself, or history nerds a little bit like myself, you will recognise the name Cappadonich. Now Cappadonich was a distillery that was closed by its owners back in 2002, and if I ever get a chance, I will of course do a whiskey tasting review on that and a little bit of history on that distillery in another video. However, that will be for another day. But George and Fiona managed to actually secure one of the wash stills and one of the spirit stills from that former distillery, and they also managed to secure an absolutely exquisite copper mash tun, which is an absolute masterpiece in the centre of the distillery. All the fermenters are new equipment that's been put in, so old and new meat. They are planning, hopefully, I believe around about June 2022, this year, to hold an opening. Obviously we're going to have to wait until a little bit a couple of years maybe, before we get to see their final result. But in the meantime, we do have the delights of sampling this, which I was very lucky to be given. If we go through the label just very quickly, Falkirk Distillery Spirit Drink, and you can see new make, founder George Stewart, and distillery manager Graham Brown at the helm. Cask strength filling 63.5, and this is a 20 cl sample. So let's just do a quick whiskey review on this, or a new make spirit review as I should say. I'm just going to top it up just a little bit, only because the glass is a little bit shallow. Obviously colour, a bit of a given, as clear as vodka, beautiful. When you go and see the distillery, obviously the pagoda roofs for the maltings, the iconic emblem on the distillery, that was actually I believe designed by George Stewart, so that's obviously a nice little touch there. Like I say, the family's kind of trait of making this vision become a reality kind of shines through. This really is their story. It is not a global multinational distillery, but I do believe that they do have the chance, and very much so, to actually go very far, and probably take on some of the big boys. Interestingly enough as well, they are a lowland distillery by region, and it will be interesting to see if, I believe they intend to, but it will be interesting to see if they follow the practice of trying to create soft and gentle whiskies, you know, like in the style of triple distilled whiskies that people kind of come to just naturally associate the lowlands with. But it's not a given. Everything's up for grabs. With a young distillery, it's almost like a canvas for the artist, a fresh canvas for the artist to kind of paint and draw and create anything they choose to. And the finishing product and artwork can basically be very unpredictable, inspirational, and just basically taking it from there. So let's give this a go. As I said, colour, it's a given. Nose. There's almost like there's like a yogurt to it. It's like a slight kind of Greek yogurt, and it's very fresh. It's very fruity, and it's very playful. There's almost like a pininess to it, like a kind of a fresh pine, and almost grass notes to it, like a fresh cut, almost like if you was to get pine and rub it in your fingers and get the oil out of it, or on a summer's day doing the lawn. Yeah, fresh cut grass. Let's give the taste a go. So the body itself is very robust, and very punchy. There's almost there's like a dried fruit in there. Yeah, it's very very kind of bold, very, very fresh. The actual finish to it is, to me, I might be completely going off on a tangent here, but there is almost like there's like a mixture between a raisin, dried raisin, a bit of an apricot going on there, and there's almost, it's so subtle, it's almost like a wisp of, like a bit of a coffee, just a little bit of a coffee kind of background note going on there, like a dark coffee and a bit of chocolate note on the end there. It's so fresh, playful and clean and crisp. That's really it, guys, for this whisky review. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the Falkirk Distillery. I do wish Fiona and George the very best in the future. I hopefully will look forward to them opening the distillery later this year. And guys, I definitely think, I know I'm kind of promoting everyone, but as I said, I would never put up a whisky review or video if I genuinely didn't believe that the whisky was of a good quality. But remember, enjoy your whisky how you want to. It is a very subjective subject, and something that, for instance, I might like, you might not like, and vice versa. But I think these guys are genuinely, not just purely because of the passion that they bring to this, but just because actually this quality spirit, and it's still unfolding in my mouth now. It's a very long finish, and it plays out very long and intricately and very complex. I think that they are onto a winner. So that's all I've got to talk and say to you for now about the fantastic Falkirk Distillery. Keep your eyes peeled for them in the future. They are hopefully the beginning of a massive revival in the lowlands region, which has sadly over the recent years been robbed of many of its distilleries, and hopefully they are now helping to buck the trend and bring back the lowlands region and category within its own right back to the forefront for the world to enjoy. If I can come up with any other videos whilst I'm up here, I will definitely give it a go. In the meantime, guys, as ever, if you've got any questions or anything you think I've missed out, or want to share any comments or views, please do drop them in the comments box below, and I look forward to reading them. If you think there's a question that you're not sure of that you think I might be able to answer, then please do send it my way. In the meantime, keep safe, and I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Bye for now.